Welcome to the Hyper Growth Zone podcast. This is your go-to resource for personal growth, mastering communication, and influencing and persuasion techniques that will help you unleash the full potential of yourself and others. Here is your host, Alex Morgan.
The fear of being seen, how high performers, high achievers, really successful people are actually hiding in plain sight. So welcome back to the Hyper Growth Zone podcast. My name is Alex Morgan, and I'm a master trainer of hypnosis and NLP. So this is a space where high achievers come to stop performing for success and act like they have to put in so much effort and start aligning with it. So if you're ready to align with your mind, not just to be seen, but to have the confidence to just do whatever you want, and go ahead and listen. Because if you've ever found yourself holding back right when things are about to take off, if you're building a big dream, but secretly fearing what will happen when people really see you, then today's episode is for you. And if you think about it, this episode is all about a quiet truth. Most high performers, high achievers, they're not afraid of failure. They're not even afraid of success. They're afraid of expansion, afraid of being seen in their power, afraid of being too much. So let's unpack the unconscious fear of visibility. And we can look at why that happens, what you can do, how you can rewire it so you can show up with the magnetic presence that those next levels demand. Because I'm sure you want to make a quantum leap and have the next level you activate quite easily and effortlessly, automatically and naturally. So let's get into it, because you're not afraid of failure. You're afraid of being seen. So here's what I've noticed after working with tons of high performers, peak performers, successful people, whatever you want to say. So the biggest breakthroughs that people have, they're not coming from a certain strategy. They're not coming from some external system. Oftentimes, big breakthroughs come from removing the layers of protection, of safety, of control that they've built around being seen. Maybe you're thinking, and it's a good thing to think about this. You're like, that's not me. I post content. I'm confident. I speak at my job. I lead others. I'm building a personal brand, whatever it is. And that's great. That's awesome if you're doing any of these things. And here's the truth. Visibility isn't about how much you're doing any of those wonderful things. It's about how much of your true self are you letting people feel. So hiding and having that fear of being seen can look like creating something for social media and not allowing yourself to go deeper. Or you're waiting until things are perfect before you launch a new product or service. Playing it safe in your messaging, in your relationships, in any aspect of your reality around you. So ask yourself, where are you playing it safe? Because this is a big one. So where are you playing it safe? Think about that as you listen to this. Or it could be holding back your opinions, your voice, in meetings, in relationships, in leadership rooms. So maybe there's some places that you're holding it back. So again, where are you playing it safe? And where are you kind of pulling back and not showing your true self to everyone? And what's underneath all of that? Maybe it's a core fear. What if I'm too much? What if I'm not enough? What if people see the real me? Have you ever thought that before? What if people see the real me? Really interesting to consider that, isn't it? Do you feel like you belong? Or do you feel like if people see you, you're going to lose everything that you've built? So where are you playing it safe? Where are you holding back? Because this comes from somewhere. Having this fear of expansion and feeling like you're too much, this could come from ancestral programming, wounds that you have. So where does this come from? It often starts in childhood. Interesting, right? This makes sense because most of our unconscious programming, it's picked up from the ages of 0 to 7. It can even happen while we're in the womb, passed down genealogically, and also in past lives. I'm not saying that you have to believe in any of that stuff or not. This is just a metaphor that your mind creates. It happened then. So it often starts in childhood. Many high performers, many high achievers, many successful people, maybe they were praised for their performance, for being the good one, the achiever, the one who doesn't rock the boat. Or maybe they weren't praised for their performance, for being the bad one and the one who does rock the boat. Either way, they didn't feel safe in that visibility. They felt like they were being judged, punished, abandoned. Interesting. So either way, you could actually feel something like this. Maybe in your childhood, in your lineage, being bold or powerful wasn't a behavior that people did. Or maybe being bold and powerful, it was punished. It was judged. And if you did that, you felt like people around you were abandoning you. Which is okay. It's okay if things like this happened. The interesting thing is, though, is now, lots of high performers, even as an adult, success feels like they're walking on eggshells. They're on a tightrope. One wrong move and they're falling off. Something bad is going to happen. The problem with that is the 2-year-old you, the 4-year-old you, the 6-year-old you was doing this behavior and had this belief to protect themselves, to feel safe, to feel like they were in control. Now, as an adult, as you have this behavior, it's an outdated behavior. It's not getting you the results that you want. Because you probably want more. If you're listening to this, I'm sure that you want more. More success, better relationships, more money. You want to feel more healthy. You want to really evolve in your personal development. Every area of your life, you want it to be more, better. But you also don't want to be rejected, misunderstood, or too much. And that's not only your thinking, that's really your mind, your unconscious mind, trying to protect you. So all of this can come from childhood. However, these are outdated beliefs, and there's no need to have them anymore. I mean, are you ever around someone and you're having a nice chat with them? You get to know this person and maybe even become friends with them. And all of a sudden, after a while, you see these layers kind of peel off of them. However, you notice common patterns, common behaviors, certain behaviors that they have. And you're wondering, you're probably asking yourself, you're like, why do they keep doing that? It's not making any sense. It's not getting them what they want. That might be the same thing that you're doing with this. You're doing a behavior that worked when you were younger to protect yourself. Now, there's no need to protect yourself. However, your mind, it's not broken. It's doing its job. So let's reframe this. Let's think about this in another way. Because your mind, it is here to protect you. So your fear of being seen, that visibility, it isn't weakness. It isn't a problem, let's say. What it is a highly intelligent response to what your unconscious mind believes is dangerous. So that trembling before you speak, that hesitation before making a bold move in your relationship or your business, your personal life, professional life, whatever it is, or that random procrastination that you get before doing anything, that's not self-sabotage. That's your unconscious mind wanting you to be safe according to the outdated data, behavior, pattern, choices, decisions that you used to have. Those are old behaviors that you used to have. You're not going to do those anymore. So you're not broken. No. No one that I work with, I believe that. We can all create the reality that we want. Your mind has just wired yourself for protection. And now it's time to update the data, update the program, update the beliefs, update your thinking. And that's actually quite easy. You can actually rewire your unconscious mind, the relationship that it has with visibility. So listen to this. This is really important. If you want to start to reprogram your mind, it's simple, it's easy, and you'll start to get the results that you want. There's a couple ways to do this, so I'm going to mention them here. So you can name the fear that you have. So figure out what's that fear for you, and you can ask yourself, this fear of being seen, this fear of visibility, how's that a problem? And go a little deeper, and then you'll have that fear. So for example, maybe someone says, I'm afraid that if I show all of me, I'll be judged, rejected, or abandoned. So they're thinking the truth of this, it actually brings negative emotions. So what's that fear to you? Just identify that. Now that you've done that, you've named the fear, you've identified the fear for you, you want to practice safely expanding. So you can start small, you can share a little more of your story. You can speak a little louder in the room. You can be more of your authentic you in your relationships, personally and professionally. And as you do this, track how you feel in your mind and in your body. Don't only look at the results. Focus on how clear you are about how you do things when you do them. Notice how you feel. So use the body and the mind, because visibility isn't just about changing only how you think. It's focusing on your breathing. It's focusing on your physiology, so how you carry yourself. So notice that. Notice how you breathe going into these situations. Notice how you feel internally. Notice how you carry yourself. If you're speaking to someone, how are you sitting? How are you talking? How are you sounding? How are you thinking? So focus on all of these things, because your mind and your body, you want it to feel safe. Your mind's protecting you, remember? You want it to feel safe, doing more, holding more, creating more. So notice how you feel. So when you go into those situations, you can always think ahead of the situation. How do I want to feel? I was speaking to someone the other day, and they have an important meeting coming up. And I asked them, do you have a lot of rapport with this person? And they said, yes. I said, great. So right off the bat, we know that since you have a lot of rapport with this person, chances are they're going to accept a lot of the things that you say. So one of the things that you can focus on is you can focus on how you feel internally. So what is the feeling that you want to have internally that's going to help you and that other person get the result that you want? And I said you can change your state throughout the meeting. It's not that you only have to be in one state the whole time. So maybe you want to be in one state when you start off. And then as you go through the meeting, you have to be flexible in your behavior. So think about that, being flexible in your behavior. Because your body, your mind wants to feel safe doing more, achieving more. And then you can ask yourself, what version of me would feel safe being fully seen? And then imagine the feeling of that. When you have that feeling of being fully seen and that version of you is having success, notice the feeling. What feeling is there? What feeling do you want to have? What do you want to feel instead? And when you know that feeling, you can imagine that feeling, and you can install that feeling from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. So as you're breathing in and breathing out, you can imagine that feeling has a color and a shape, a size, a texture, a material. And imagine that feeling. It's like you're putting it in your body, installing that through your whole body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. So that's what you can do to really create someone who really wants to be seen, to get over that fear, to do something instead. Do you notice how quickly we flipped your mind there? It's quite easy, isn't it? And you can always ask yourself 3 questions. When did I decide to create this? What can I learn from this? So what can you learn from this fear that will allow you to let it go and have these be really positive learnings? And the last question, what do you want to do instead? What do you want to feel instead? And you can install that in your body so it feels really, really good now and in the future. And that version of you that wants to be fully seen, the more you imagine that person, the easier it is going to be that person in your reality. Because if you think about it, you get what you focus on 100% of the time. So if you're trying to protect yourself, you're trying to feel safe, your mind will do that for you. And your mind will want you to have control. However, if you want to make bold moves and just do things and you're not afraid of anything, your mind will want to give you that too. And it wants to give you all the results that go along with that. Interesting, isn't it? So your next level of success, that quantum leap that you want to make to activate the next level you, it doesn't require a louder voice, a bigger audience, all these things on the external. It requires deeper presence by you on the inside to be that authentic self. The kind of person that says, I trust my mind, my body, myself, my soul to be seen fully. And that's when you start to attract what you want. You're not chasing. You're not going around hoping to get things. That's when you attract what you want. So if you're ready to feel safer and more powerful, more confident, more calm, more clear, more focused as you're achieving more, then you can go ahead and reach out to me. All my information will be in the description of the episode because it's safe. It's powerful to be seen, isn't it? So until next time, remember, you're not someone who thinks you're too much. You're not shrinking anymore. And that's a powerful thing. Think about what you want. Because from now until you listen to the next episode, certainly you can share this with someone who will benefit. From now until you listen to the next episode, though, focus as much as you can on what you want. Research things online, type in things that you want to do, experiences that you want to have, things that you want to create, and focus as much as you can on what you want. And I'm sure you'll see that your reality starts to change because your mind is going to give you what you focus on all the time. And I see this all the time. And people, the more they focus on something, the more they get rid of the clutter, the more they get rid of any fear, all of a sudden there's no resistance. The person with the meeting, they said they didn't have any resistance anymore and they were smiling. They were so excited that they get to have this meeting. So think about that. What are you curious about? What are you excited about to do because you removed all the clutter in the way? And if you haven't removed the clutter, then too, you can reach out to me. We can work together to help you remove that clutter. So thanks so much for listening. Definitely share this with someone who will benefit. If you haven't already, go ahead and rate the podcast wherever you are listening. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you on the next episode.